Hi, my name is Vincent from V&V Woodworks, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I made a segmented wood-turned football for my brother's Christmas gift. Please enjoy. One of the most important parts of woodworking is a thorough understanding of what you're going to be doing. Therefore, before even cutting any wood, I've created this one-to-one template for me to follow throughout the project, so I know the sizing and placement of each segmented ring. For this project, I'm going to be using 36 1x1x12 blanks of walnut and 2 1x1x12 blanks of maple. Next to me, you can see my 10-inch Chicago electric miter saw. I know it's not the best, but it does the job. You can also see my simple segment cutting jig. Let's have a look. It is a simple jig. It consists of 2 pieces of pine held on with a D-clamp, double-sided tape, and 2 D-clamps so I can slide it back and forth, depending upon the length of the segment that I want to cut. Here's a screw with one side ground flat so that I can set the distance between this screw and the blade. I have also made this chart so I can quickly look up the length of the long side of each segment. In this case, I'm going to be making the middle ring of the football, which needs to be 7.5 inches in diameter. So ring 6 has 2-inch long segments. So with my segment cutting jig set at 2 inches and the blade set at 15 degrees, which will give me 12 segments, let's start cutting. Now that the segments are all cut up, let's give them a quick test fit. With the segment in a rough shape, we can actually see how we did. 7 3/4, which is a little bit wider than what I had originally had in my plans. 7.5. But that's okay, because it'll give me a little bit more room to define the shape while on the lathe. Now that you know how I make my segments, let me go ahead and make the next 2 rings. At this point, you may still be wondering what the 2 maple blanks are for. Let me show you. An NFL regulation football has 2 white stripes going halfway around it, spaced 6 inches apart. Therefore, rings 4 and rings 7 will be made of half walnut and half maple, or 6 walnut segments and 6 maple segments, to represent this. Okay, so as you can see, it is the next day, and I've gone ahead and cut all of the rings of the football to make the video a little bit shorter. The only changes I made to my design is that rings 2, 3, 9, and 10 are 2 blanks thick, opposed to 1 blank thick, so that I have a little bit more room to refine the shape when I'm turning. I think this is the really fun part of the project because you can see the shape really start to come together. Another design modification I forgot to mention earlier is that piece 11 of the football and piece 1 of the football are actually made of 4 laminated blanks of walnut across by 2 thick. And this is so that when I mount it on the lathe, I have a little bit more room to shape the ends while still not getting too close to the drive spurs. So because I am a perfectionist and my miter saw doesn't cut perfect angles, what I'm going to do is use shims. So when I glue the ring, I'll only glue half and then I'll shim the halves so that it applies even pressure throughout and stops all those gaps from appearing. And then I'll take it to my homemade sanding disc for my lathe and I will sand the 2 halves flat and then join the whole ring together as one.
Dad, can you stop talking to the cats? I'm trying to record a video.
Okay, so here I have all the segmented rings to the football glued up in halves. Now I'll take them over to my homemade disc sander for the lathe, where I will sand the 2 halves smooth, and then join them back together as a whole ring so that all the seams are absolutely flawless. So now the last part before I can glue up all the rings, I've sanded one side of each ring flat on my homemade disc sander, and the other side is remaining rough. So I attach to the headstock on a waste face plate with double-sided tape, and then I turn this side of the ring flat with a round nose scraper, and then I can glue them all together to create the composite shape. Okay, so as you can see, I have the blank all glued up, and now we can begin the turning process. After a ton of revising and shaping, this is what I've come up with. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. If it looks bulbous in the video, it's because of the resolution. However, in real life, it is extremely proportionate to an actual football. What I'm going to do now is begin the sanding process, starting with 120 grit and moving all the way up to 1000. Now we can start my favorite part of any project, and that is the finish. My choice of finish for this project is Watco Danish oil. I'll be putting it on with a paper towel and buffing it off at about 1400 RPM with a clean cloth. So as you can see, I've already went ahead and sanded the ends of the football to complete points like a real football is shaped, and then sanded by hand and applied Danish oil finish again to the entire football. Now it's time to add a little creative touch and a creative spin. There you have it. This football has been quite the project. It's made of 108 pieces of walnut and 12 pieces of maple. It's approximately 11 inches long and 22 inches around the center like a real football. And I easily have over 10 hours of time into it. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome woodworking videos to come. If you have any suggestions with the editing or how the project went overall, I'd love to hear them, so please leave them in the comments down below. Again, thank you for watching. Everyone have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.